Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here on this Tuesday. This is a new type of show that I want to do, and I'll say it's inspired by one of my fans, all the way from London time. He's in the UK, but his YouTube channel name is Welcome to the Show. But anyway, welcome to the show on Facebook. He sends me all these cool articles he finds online about science that he thinks I might find interesting. Oh, my thing just fell. It falls a lot actually recently. And
It's those
so he
Minnesota
sends,
Bigfoots.
yeah. So he sends me all these articles that he thinks I might find interesting. And yeah, I told him, I was like, oh, I think this would be a good show to do. I could just comment on them. And so I've collected a bunch of them. And, I have Bobby Dizzle here. This is the second time Bobby's here. So Bobby has got a podcast. He's been loading up on a lot of episodes. I think he's leaning more toward the paranormal now, but he also enjoys like health and fitness, being outdoors, entertainment and stuff like that.
Yeah, stand-up comedy. That's a big thing too.
And stand-up comedy, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to be releasing his first episode pretty soon. So I'll put I haven't updated the description, but I'll update the description of this video, and it'll have all the links to his podcast and his social media. And his first episode is going to have Randy on from Minnesota, who has Bigfoot encounters. And I will also say I've been talking to Randy over email, and he's telling me he wants to update me on all this stuff. And then, but then he just wants me to call him. He's like, just call me. And so then I asked him, I was like, well, okay, well, can we do it? Can we make it an episode? I don't want to, it sounds like good content. I don't want it to go to waste for the audience. So he said yes. So he's going to be back on Friday, and he's got some updates. And, if you've seen that episode, Bobby, you've talked to him. He's got a lot of energy, and he has a lot to say. And I think part of it is just because so many crazy things happen to him, and it's like he might find it strange to hard to communicate that with people, and so it's kind of like all this pent up energy and information, and I think that's why he's so eager to talk. Well, what are your thoughts on that, Bobby?
I honestly can't imagine how he does anything else but hang out on his farm. If I couldn't go on the road, I couldn't go to work. Like the other gentleman we talked to was selling his place. Why would you sell it?
Oh, he is. I didn't know that. Okay.
I'm like, why would you sell a place with Bigfoot on it?
Yeah.
I couldn't leave it. I think Randy may be a victim of. I don't want to sound ageist, but he may be a victim of kind of technical, not knowing as much about technical things as we do, possibly, and so he doesn't know this avenue's out there. So I think me and you reaching out to him like we are is like the first time, like the dam's ever broken for him.
Right. Well, other than that book writer, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, how's that not any more popular?
Yeah, right.
It got some shady reviews though.
Shady reviews, and in what way?
There's a couple on Amazon, but they were to be expected. It got mostly good reviews though.
Interesting.
The book did.
Yeah. Yeah, he wants me to go out there as well, which I would love to. It's kind of short notice because he's like, you should come out here before it gets cold, I guess before the snow drops, which I don't think is that much time, maybe like a month or two.
In Montana, it's August, and he's on the same light line.
Okay.
It's not.
Oh, it's August. Okay. Interesting.
So in some of the higher places.
Now, you were mentioning on your social media, were you looking into visiting him as well? Because if you're going to go, that's the motivation I need to go, and I'll definitely go if you go.
I don't know how I could, but I would love to one of these days.
Right.
If they're not going anywhere, I mean, it's not going to be this year. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, me neither. But yeah, I would love to go. Yeah, it sounds
I've been looking at the logistics of it, like the up and back via car. I mean, it's 18 hours. It could be done. I mean, if he could talk to his friends and tell them to, at least do something, it'd be worth the trip to me.
Yeah, 18 hours is not bad at all, actually. So I'm in Texas, and you're in
North Alabama.
North Alabama, right? Okay, so you're a little bit closer. I'm in South Texas, so yeah, it'll probably be maybe 20 hours or 24 hours. From me.
Our halfway point, I checked it out, would be New Orleans. Is it halfway between you and I?
Oh, okay. Well, it's a good city. Nice place. I just want to say hi to Bobby. I mean Scotty. Well, hi Bobby. But yeah, Scotty's in the room. Let's say
Scotty
hello to
B.
him. Scotty B. Let me put this up. There he goes. He says hello, Trees and Bob. All right, yeah. So that's the update with Randy. So yeah, we're gonna have him back on, and also John, who was on the show. He's been emailing me too, and I asked him if I would love to have him on. So he said he'll get back to me. And yeah, and I'm trying to get back on my schedule. Thank you everybody who's been keeping with my show, even though I broke my schedule. It's just that when I went to Mesquite for like a week for my grandmother's 80th birthday, it totally put me behind and messed me up. But I want to get back on schedule, which my original schedule was Tuesdays doing my entomology class, Thursdays doing video games, and then Fridays just doing like a show, Science of the Strange, just talking about paranormal stuff. So I'm working on getting back on that. I think this channel's only been active for like a month or two, so this is the early stuff that I'm going to cringe at in the future. But that's okay. It's just growing pains. Scotty B also says he lives in Wisconsin. It snows in November, but more in December. Okay, so he's up there as well. Interesting. I mean, I guess the problem with going into winter would be, I mean, he says the Bigfoot are there year round, but I guess the problem would be like there's just less to do. It's more inhospitable to be outdoors. So
Yeah, I don't know how I can handle it. I've never handled winter before.
Right.
I don't know what I would do. Probably die.
Neither.
But up during the summer, it's not going to be. I don't think it'd be bad in the summer. It still gets hot, but there's no poisonous or venomous snakes up there.
What about ticks?
Ticks. I'm from North Alabama. You'll have to try something scarier than that.
Okay. Well, the scary thing about ticks are the Lyme disease and the disease. That's a lifelong, incurable disease. That's what I would be worried about.
I go hiking every weekend. I'm not worried about ticks in Minnesota. Some Yankee ticks ain't get me.
Yeah, there's definitely things you could do. Yeah. I mean, to prevent it.
Wimpy northern ticks, take it.
But yeah, there's no snakes, like you said. Yeah, it would be fun. And like I mentioned, if I went there to see Randy, I would have a backup plan. So I would be wanting to collect some insects or water bears. I would just do a survey of invertebrates. So either way,
name for water bear?
Tardigrades. Yeah, tardigrades.
Yeah, tardigrade.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Scotty B says, "Laugh out loud, grow some."
Hey.
What are you talking? Are you talking about grow a pair because of the ticks?
Hey, not worried about ticks.
Yeah, I just look. I mentioned it on another podcast, but like I a lot of times I'm a lead. I'm like the guy in charge of a research expedition, and I have people under me that I'm responsible for. So I always run through every possible scenario that could go catastrophically wrong, whether that's weather catching us, whether it's an animal getting us, whether it's gravity getting us, whether it's a disease getting us, whether it's locals with guns getting us. So I always try to, I just try to prevent that, try to prevent any death to my team members, because that would be, it's the right thing to do, and it would weigh heavy on my conscience if somebody died on my watch. There are deer ticks, he says. And
I'd be more worried about the alpha gal ticks. The one that had the protein in the bite that's similar to that of red meat, makes you allergic to red meat for about 10 years.
That would be bad too.
That would shut down 3/4 of my diet.
That would be bad as well.
That was the Texas Lone Star tick.
Oh, okay. I have heard about that a little bit. That's interesting.
It happens to turkey hunters around here a lot.
Really? So they get bitten by a tick.
Mm-hmm.
They're hunting turkey, and then they're unable to eat red meat after they get bitten by this.
Yeah, because you usually hunt turkey in the spring around here, and so that's whenever those little bitey things are coming out. That's why I got deep woods off by the caseload.
Hell yeah! And did you wear long socks as well? Really, like ankle high, like knee high socks or something?
Now, when I go hiking, I usually wear some socks that come up, not the anklets, but got like the 2-inch thing, just so I don't scrub the shoes don't scrub my feet, scrub my spot.
Right. Yeah.
But if I'm in the woods, like in turkey hunting or something, I'm definitely wearing high socks.
Gotcha.
Just because I'm usually wearing boots.
what I like to do is if I'm really being precautious, I wear these waders but the material is not the hard rubber. It's like a very thin, breathable material. But the waders come up to like my chest right here.
Mhm.
So I'm basically completely sealed off up to my chest. And so there ain't nothing getting in there unless I
Nope.
wanted to. But okay, well, that being said, let's go. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up this list of articles. Yeah, so I don't know if I mentioned it because I mentioned it to you, Bobby, but I'm not sure if I mentioned it on this episode. But basically, yeah, my friend, welcome to the show, sends me all these articles. I've saved them all as a bookmark, and we're gonna read through them, and Bobby's gonna pick the ones we read first, and then we'll just go through and see we'll just react to them.
I'm gonna let the kindergarten brain pick them. That's what I'm talking about.
There you go.
Something shiny.
All right, so then let me add this to the stream. All right, and then I think I'm gonna do this, maybe this one. Let's see, this configuration. How about this one?
If it doesn't block the words, it's a good one.
Yeah, you know what? The other one doesn't. You're right. This one doesn't block the words. Maybe we'll do this one. You're right about the words. Okay, so let me go ahead and pull up that list. Hold on a second. Let's see.
I know when I set up conferences at work, they all like this view here.
Oh, okay.
Or similar layout.
So let me go to bookmarks. Let me see. No, here we go. Okay. Are you able to see what I'm seeing? Like all the bookmarks pulled up?
I see your Google page. I don't see anything else.
Oh, it's not showing. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, because I'm pulling up the tab. So.
Oh, you have a drop down up there? That's probably what it is. I can't see it because it's logo or something.
Let me try something else then.
I see it getting highlighted and grayed out.
Oh, okay.
But no drop down.
Okay, how about this? Whoops. Let's see. Bookmarks. You're not able to see anything right now either?
Mm-mm.
Okay, let's see. Maybe there's. Well, I think maybe I'll have to share my screen. Maybe that's the thing to do because then you can see everything. So let me try that.
You're sharing the application.
Yeah, let me just share my screen.
Probably do it.
Yeah. Okay, so let me remove this. Stop screen. Yeah, let me just go share my screen. Okay, present screen, entire screen, share. Okay, it's processing. There we go.
We got spinnies. Hey, there we go.
Okay, and
got the eternal loop.
Okay, how about now?
Oh, there we go. I got it now.
Okay, so here's some of the ones that we have. The first two I've already talked about, but let's see. We have South Korean research developed nanotechnology tattoos. Then we have gaming time has no link with levels of well-being. Then we have suspected debris from SpaceX capsule crashes into farmland. Images show mysteriously aligned holes beneath Atlanta? No, I don't know. The Atlantic, I believe. The Atlantic Ocean.
But no, leave Atlanta.
Dogs might be able to see with their noses. Fossils of first animal predator named after Sir David Attenborough. Chess robot breaks 7-year-old drinker.
I'm reading through these before you go. I'm dying. So where do you find these things?
I'm telling you, welcome to the show sends it to me.
What in the hell?
In the sky confuses Australian town and outs a cannabis farm. Pentaquark, scientists find new exotic configuration of quantum particles, probably. Record bacterium discovered as long as a human eyelash. Fossil found of dinosaur killed in asteroid strike. Pig organs revived after an hour after death. Ice Age children frolic with giant sloth puddles 11,000 years ago. Scientists discovered 30 never before seen species in the Pacific Ocean. First of its kind video shows a giant squid hunt. I think I talked about that one already. Let's see. Study the swift, smart, and shy unobtrusive camera platforms for insects. I believe that's that one. And then I already talked about this one. That one was about UFOs. And then this last one is called More Than a Pipe Dream. This one is about how you could use pipes, like water pipes, to generate electricity. So anyway, that's our choices. What do you think, Bobby?
I think we're at a 3-round robin between pig organs, asteroid kill, and chess robot. I'm going to go with the asteroid.
Okay.
It's Dinosaur, and I got that's got to win.
We'll do all three, but we'll do that first. We'll do the asteroid. So let's see. Let's pick that one.
Zombie Pig has me, but Asteroid from Dinosaur.
The finger's the one that got me. I want to know.
Yeah, I mean that one scares me a little too much to read it first.
Yeah, we got.
I just had Cracker Barrel. I'm not ready for that.
All right, here we go. Clicking on it. Okay, so yeah, once again, to give credit, I'll put after this, I'll put the article links in the description. But yeah, it looks like this is from the BBC, and the title of the article is "Fossil Found of Dinosaur Killed in the Asteroid Strike." Scientists claim. It was published on April 6th, and the author of this article is Jonathan Amos. All right, let's see if they're going to show any pictures or anything. All right. All right, so it says scientists have presented a stunningly preserved leg of a dinosaur. All right. So the leg complete with skin. I'll say right now, yeah, it's interesting. We have a couple of skin impressions of dinosaurs, actually. And that's really interesting. Not just bones. So it gives us actually a texture. And also, we have one dinosaur that's basically mummified. I'll show you this real fast. And
what about the upland
Dinosaur? So I have to look that one up. I haven't heard of that one. What's the story with that one?
It's not like a dinosaur, but it's like an ostrich Pokemon super evolved that went extinct about 3,000 years ago, and a guy found one perfectly preserved in a cave.
Oh, okay, that's awesome. We'll look at that.
Yeah, it looks like a big ass Cornish game hen.
Okay, so this is from Smithsonian magazine, and yeah, so the name of the dinosaur is this thing right here. I think it's a dinosaur.
Nodosaur.
But at photograph, you could see basically the whole head is preserved. So it's one of these heavily armored dinosaurs. So like that's interesting because this dinosaur we have a pretty good idea because. Yeah, it's like an ankylosaur. Let's see. It's called Nodosaur. So just believe the same group as the ankylosaur. Let's see a picture of it when it's not mummified.
I'll tell you what gets me about dinosaurs, which may or may not be just my human brain associating images with images. Like a lot of why does a Triceratops look like a chameleon? Literally the same thing. Nobody will acknowledge it, even on the internet.
Oh, just how it's got the horns and everything.
I mean, it's got like a frill. It's got horns. I'm like, are they the same thing? Like what?
Right.
And these suckers here, they're turtles.
Well, I think it must be. Well, these are the nodosaurs. So this is. I just wanted to see what they look like when they're not mummified. But yeah, it looks like an ankylosaur, basically. But that's what that dinosaur is that was found in Alberta.
It's pretty crazy.
Nodosaur. It means knobbed lizard. It's an ankylosaurian dinosaur. I'm reading down here. From the late Cretaceous, so it's one of the later dinosaurs. But anyway, let me pull up that. Let me answer your question about that chameleon.
I've looked at it before, just kind of half asleep. But I said, like, are Triceratops chameleons? A lot of people have asked about it, but like, man, they look exactly alike it. Or like rhinoceros, are they Triceratops? I don't know.
Interesting. Well, I think I have an answer to that, but let's see. I just looked up Triceratops.
Check it out. That is definitely Triceratops.
Yeah. And here's a question right here. Somebody says,
"See Alan Grant lead up against it."
So someone right here. Here's a picture. One says Jackson's chameleons are sometimes called three-horned chameleons because the males possess three brown horns, one on the nose, the rostral horn, one above the each superior orbital ridge above the eyes, preocular horns. Somewhat reminiscent of Triceratops dinosaur. Okay. But yeah, that's a really good picture. Okay, well, if I had to answer, go ahead.
Uncanny. It's just uncanny. It's me talking.
Right. Well, okay, so if I had to answer this, why is this? Why do they look so similar? I'm just trying to get a pretty close picture of one. Why does this boy look so much like a Triceratops? Okay, well, I would say that the reason why it looks like a Triceratops is because for some reason this configuration of horns on the face is beneficial to the survival of the species. So for some reason, having these three horns has been shown to increase the amount of healthy children these animals can have that are also healthy. That's what I've talked about that before, but it's a term called fitness. Fitness in biology is different than fitness that we may be familiar with, like working out or having a healthy body. In science, fitness is a number. It could be zero, it could be a positive number, but it can't be a negative number. But it's the amount of children that you have, an organism has, but those children have to also be healthy and able to produce children. So they can't be sterile and they can't be unhealthy. And to me, that's the secret of life, the meaning of life. It sounds boring, but I think that's what it is. The meaning, every animal, everything they're doing, every little movement they do, every little sound they make, it's to increase their fitness. And so what I'm saying is that these three horn configurations seems to help this animal have healthy children. Now,
like you said, the mule had zero fitness.
yeah, the parents of the mule. Well, yeah, I guess the mule would also have zero fitness because a mule is incapable of producing children that are fertile. I believe so. Yeah. So yeah, you're right. And
the liger.
The liger's also zero fitness. He's it's basically an evolutionary dead end. But yeah, so that's why it has horns. Now, why the second part of that answer is like, why are they so similar to a triceratops? Well, I think one of the things to keep in mind when you're thinking like, why are things so similar? Isn't it weird, that they're so similar, even though they're not that closely related? I mean, yeah, this chameleon it's a reptile like dinosaurs were, but it's not a direct descendant of dinosaurs. But other animals share this similar characteristics sometimes, like a shark and a dolphin, for instance. They have a very similar body plan, but one of them is a mammal. The dolphin is a mammal like you and I. They have blood. I mean, they have blood. Yeah, they're warm-blooded. They have hair like we do. You don't often see whales with hair, but they do actually have hair if you were to get up close to one. And they also have milk, so they give milk to their children. So these whales and dolphins, they actually underwater, they shoot a stream of milk into their babies' mouths. That's how they give them milk. And they look a lot like a shark, but a shark is a fish. It's not closely related. A shark is cold-blooded. It has no hair, has no milk. Okay, so that's another example of how two animals can look similar in their body plan. So I think the key ingredient is called it's deep time, like long periods of time. Because if you give an organism enough time, I'm talking about millions of years, then it could evolve to form like a similar body configuration. So I think that's the secret why. So this chameleon has been around for millions of years, and I think it just had so much time. It's so much time to evolve, millions of years, that eventually it just ended up kind of catching on to this similar characteristic. Same thing with the dolphin and the shark. These organisms have been around for millions of years. That much time affords you the ability to just kind of like find the same answer, which is how to have a good body plan. So what do you think about that, Bobby? Does that
Oh yeah, that's totally why. I was just really curious as to like stupid similar looking. Even with the little frill. Ever since I was little, I thought they were like a little triceratops.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Thanks for bringing that up, because I've seen these chameleons, but I've never actually seen a close-up Jackson's chameleon. So this is actually new to me.
And they can change colors and shit.
Yeah. They always look so grumpy. I don't know why, but these type of lizards always.
You ever seen them walk? They walk like this. They take like a little step at a time and they bob back and forth.
Yeah. I have seen that. Yeah. And then their eyes are all.
They got the tongue like a frog.
But let's see. Okay, but the other thing I was going to show is okay, yeah. So I was talking about this nodosaur. So this animal, I was just talking about how they're very close. This one was found in Alberta, and yeah, it's got really good preserved skin and armor. So it's one of the best ones found. Let's see. So
if he would have been vaccinated, you might have found him in Colorado. Could have crossed the border.
It's true. Let's see. It looks like a sleeping dragon. National Geographic sponsored 5-year, 7,000-hour preparation of the fossil. Oh, damn! So
Dang.
that's the interesting thing about fossils too, is that they take a long time to prepare.
You
Sorry,
can't just
Bobby, were
go
you going to
to
say
you
something?
can't just go to town on them. You can't just
Yeah,
go
it's
to town
almost
on a
it's
fossil.
actually it's actually a very artistic, meticulous thing. So this thing was probably covered in stone, and so you have to like use like magnifying glasses and little tools to kind of get all the details to pull
It
up.
gives me anxiety.
But yeah,
I used to find all
yeah,
the
that's
seashells and stuff in the mountains behind my house.
uh-huh.
And I'd always kind of chip away. I had a little archaeological kit, and so I'd
Mhm.
always find little clumps of seashells and things like that, little trilobites. I'd chip them away best I could.
Yeah.
Probably didn't
Oh, you did?
do a good job as that. Yeah,
Oh, that's
I find all
awesome.
kinds of stuff like that.
I love trilobites. My dream is to find a really well preserved, trilobite. You've seen those really big like baseball
Mm.
size trilobites with all the little. That's awesome.
They're
I love that.
amazing. Like 97 legs.
Yeah. Where did you find them? You said where were you living when you
Just
found those?
North Alabama.
Oh, damn.
Just Scottsboro area, up in the ridge behind my parents' house.
Nice.
I'd find me a little limestone. It's all limestone, so it's made of ocean creatures. That's what limestone is.
Right.
And I found there was one consistency that was yellowish
Hmm.
and chalky yellowish, and you could take it. And I had a little hammer that was just blunt, and I just kind of crack it in my hand. You know how I've seen people do with fossils. It would
Hmm.
separate, and I would find like clumps of things in there. Whole fish
Damn.
every once in a while.
Damn. That sounds like a lot of fun. Actually, I'd love to do
Yeah, man.
that.
Imagine a little incel Bobby in the woods, chipping away in the woods. I would deer hunting later, chipping away looking for fossils.
That reminds me, there's a place here where I live, close to where I live in College Station, and there's a place where you could just go off a bridge, and yeah, there's just a bunch of fossils there too. You could just go, and they're mostly like little shells and stuff like that. But I went there in college. I need to go back because that's a lot of fun. You just spend all day there, and it's like an endless supply of like fossils. I mean, it's been there
This
for
weekend be
years.
a good weekend. Nobody's gonna be in College Station.
Yeah, why is that? Are they
They're all gonna be in Tuscaloosa.
okay? There's a big game in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, they're coming here to Alabama.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I might do that. That actually, that'd be a cool video too to shoot there. Do something outside of the studio.
I want to find a megalon tooth and a mammoth tooth. I don't know
Right.
why. I don't know why those are the ones.
Right. I think I talked about it on one show, but there's this place off like maybe North Carolina, and that's where you could go and you could find a bunch of megalodon teeth. And you have like tours you could do. You have to go diving, but
Hmm.
that place is really well known. That's another really good. That's a vacation I would take. Megalodon tooth vacation, just to
That'd be
see what's
awesome to
going.
have. I got a guy at the gym that went to a mineral show and bought one.
Mhm.
He just keeps showing it to me and teasing me with it. Like,
Really? Damn. How big is it? Is it like a pizza slice? Can you show me? With your
I
hands?
think
How
it's
big?
like it's a smaller one, but
Okay.
it's definitely a meg. It's nice and
Yeah.
large.
Nice. Um, all right. Well, let's see. Let's go back to these articles.
I forgot what we were
Um,
doing. Got distracted.
yeah, no, I got distracted off the first sentence. But let
I
me
think that's what we're supposed to
before we
do.
go. Yeah. This is just to take us where it leads us. But before I go back to the original article, I did want to look for that bird you mentioned. What was it called again? Was it a
Oh, the
moa?
upland moa, MOA.
Upland moa. Upland
You can find
moa,
the
maybe
that's it.
mummified.
Yeah, look at the claw. Check that out.
All right.
Somebody found it in a cave, and I think in New Zealand.
Okay. Let's see.
Have you ever heard the
Okay.
backstory of the dodo bird? By the way, this is relatable.
Like how it went extinct, or what detail about it?
Yeah, like it's a giant dove, giant pigeon, the
Mhm.
dodo bird, and it lived
Okay.
on that island in Europe, and all the settlers came and ate them because they couldn't run away.
All right. Yeah.
I think that's kind of the moa's story. To be honest, I
It,
think they were killed by giant eagles. I think
okay.
is the story with the moa, which just sounds
Oh,
horrible.
geez. All
Giant
right.
thunderbirds.
Well. So this article is from thehill.com, and it's called "Extinct Giant Bird Claw with the Flesh on," which is online. published May 26, 21 by Christian Spencer. Let's see what's going on. Okay. So it says here, 1987, members of the New Zealand Speleology Society unearthed a giant claw belonging to the member of an extinct bird
Speleological.
Speleological. I said it wrong again. I tried to say it too fast. Do you know what that means by any chance?
Oh, just cave divers, cavers. Spelunking.
Oh, there you go. Oh, okay, spelunking. Okay. So some cavers found it. All right, let's see. Mm-hmm. There were several species of moa, with the biggest one growing up to 12 feet tall. I believe some of these were predators of humans. I believe are early human ancestors.
I think they went extinct something like 3,000 years ago. Well, 700 or 800 years ago. Whoa. That was quick. I thought that's not that long ago at all.
Yeah, Bobby's reading down here. The birds became extinct approximately 700 to 800 years ago. And yeah, they were native to New Zealand.
The claw they found is cool, is amazing because they're basically a dinosaur. Like they look like a souped up ostrich. Surely it'll be on this page. A photo.
I'm trying to see.
The internet always tries to portray the picture of the claw as a dinosaur preserve, but like you look it up, I'm like, that's not that old. It's got to be what they look. It's like a giant chicken foot.
Right. Yeah, I think this should take me to the picture of it. I think I'm remembering seeing it now. Okay, be careful, everybody. Hold on to your butt. We're going to the dark part of the internet called Twitter.
Twitter.
We won't be here long, though. I promise.
Elon's going to rescue us.
Did you see his humanoid robot he just unveiled?
I saw one not too long ago.
He just unveiled one very recently. We'll have to
probably the same one. Somebody said clone it. My people there.
And then also it says this tweet is from a suspended account. I wonder what this person did to get suspended for this claw poster.
Moa feet pics, man.
But let's
only OnlyFans.
I'll let me go back.
Google image search Moa pic.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I'm just go to images here.
It's got to be the first thing. If there's anything else, we may get suspended from the internet ourselves.
There it is.
Look at that somebody.
Yeah.
Flipping everybody a bird. Take that. I'm a moa.
Wow. That is pretty crazy.
Ain't got no legs. Ain't got no feet.
Wow.
He found it in a cave, like looking like that in the 80s.
Now, okay, that's
still good.
That's interesting. This one, so although that type of bird went extinct about 700 to 800 years, this one was 3,300 years old. It says right here.
That's still. I mean, why is it still good? I don't know.
I think it's just the conditions in a cave. Caves are kind of like hermetically sealed. Sometimes, I mean, not all caves, but yeah, some caves can be hermetically sealed, and so no bacteria gets in there. The temperature is constant, the air is clean, and that helps.
Temperature, baby. Temperature is like 6 degrees. It's not a lot in there that's going to eat it, but a cricket.
That's actually my one phobia is caves. I'm not really afraid of anything except for caves. Like, well, specifically getting lost in a cave and just dying alone in a dark cave.
It wouldn't take long. 9 days.
You think like a week? 9 days?
3 days. 3 days you go blind. 2 days. 6 days you go crazy. 6 days you go deaf. And 9 days you die.
Water, though.
Yeah. You go blind though after 3 days of total darkness, which doesn't make any sense. But that's what they tell you in the caves whenever you take a cave tour.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they turn the lights off.
Interesting. Okay. Well, now we're at Board Panda.
Look at that little guy. It's that guy from Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah.
A moa.
I guess he's an early New Zealander there with the New Zealand bird.
A very stealthy early New Zealander. About to put salt on that sucker's tail.
All right, here's let me wait for this to load. There's a picture showing the size comparison.
This is the kind of bad influence I am. And I'm obsessed with
So
emus
there's the
too.
moa. Yeah. And what
I've always
aspect?
wanted to
Do you want
pet.
to eat one?
I've always wanted an emu. Well, I want to eat every animal I see just in case. That's beside the point. But the emus are fascinating because they're this giant bird that has personality. If you've ever been near one, I used to live about a mile away from a farmer that had 2 or 3, and I would ride my bike over there every afternoon after school. I'd fished in a creek near there, and I'd just kind of drop by and say, I bet I annoyed the piss out of them because I would just show up unannounced at dark, just this random kid. And one day he gave me an emu egg to hatch in my incubator, but it never hatched.
Oh, really?
And I had a military ammo box strapped to a rack on my bicycle, big as a shoebox basically. And I had that emu egg wrapped up in 4 or 5 layers of hunting clothes, just kind of wedged in there and taking it home. But it did develop a little bit, so it didn't die on the way back.
Okay. Interesting.
The big dark blue thing. I shot it with a 22 rifle after I realized it wasn't going to hatch, just to see what it looked like.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I saw a video of someone make an omelet with an ostrich egg, and the hardest part was getting through the shell. The shell is like super thick.
It's thick, 1/4 inch. I had to like literally shoot it.
That's crazy. That's crazy, man. You had a really interesting childhood with your emu eggs and your fossils.
I was so sheltered, but yet so diverse. It's the weirdest thing.
Well, you say sheltered, maybe like sheltered from the world of man, but not from nature, it sounds like.
I had 3 channels, and I was obsessed with TV because one of my relatives had satellite. But I also spent all my time in the woods. It's the weirdest. Because when I would get near media, I would soak it in. Like Transformers, just grab a hold and soak all the media in. But at the same time, I was like an expert creek fisherman. It's the weirdest thing.
That kind of reminds me of how like little kids are like, they turn into Gollum when you have a cell phone, They're like, is that a cell phone? Does it have games on it? And they just want.
And I would play Flight Simulator till my eyes hurt.
Oh yeah, okay.
98 and 95.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, back in the day with my Packard Bell 486.
Okay.
I loved it.
Where did you go? Simulator. Where did you like to go?
I always flew out of Meg or Chicago O'Hare.
Okay.
And a lot of times I would fly around. I just fly around. Like, you could lock it in and go anywhere in the world and be flying there. Do stuff like that. Go to like the White House, see things like that.
Oh, so even back in the day, you could see you could go anywhere in the world. That's how
it wasn't like now. They were very choppy, very GoldenEye-esque graphics.
Yeah,
the cities were the best because they didn't have to do a lot to make a skyscraper.
Yeah,
right. But other than that, like, just flew around Chicago in a little Cessna and landed again.
Interesting. Now I'm really curious. What year was it that you were playing Microsoft Flight Simulator?
98 was the last one I played, but 95 was the one before that.
Okay, so why don't you keep telling us? Tell us some more of these Microsoft Flight Simulator stories. I'm going to look up. I'm going to pull up some screenshots or video. I want to see what it looked like back then.
They had the Learjet, and you could do like the challenge. Have you ever seen a glider? It's got one wheel. It's just a giant wings. I think surely you can still do that on Flight Simulator.
Interesting.
But you would get pulled up by another plane, and it would cut you loose, and you flew down. They do it around here a lot from a little airport just down the street. But it's just giant. That was a fun one.
Interesting.
Didn't have any controls. You were just falling. You had to go.
Interesting. Let me see. Let me look that up specifically. So Microsoft Flight Simulator 1995?
98? 8 was the better one.
And what was the name of that little glider? It's just a glider?
Yeah, the glider.
Okay. Let's see what happens. I'm curious. Because I love the new one. I'm thinking about taking a trip on my channel and just going all the way down the Amazon River.
When you busted out with that drone, I was like, what? All of a sudden, I'm 90 years old. Your kids don't know what job good you got it.
Let's see. Let's look at some videos here. No, wait, images. I don't want to get claimed for anything.
Yeah, I was going to say it's. Yeah, there they are. Not hardly anything you can do with the glider though.
There's one right there.
You just had that. Yeah, that's it. The Learjet. There it is. There's a glider.
Oh, there it is right there. That's awesome. So that thing just fell? It was a controlled fall, basically, this one, right?
Yeah, you're tethered, and they kind of pull you down the runway, and you fly behind something else.
Oh,
and it cuts you loose, and you fall down. They're a real thing. They're in real life.
There's one right there. Whoops.
I remember I got a joystick for Christmas. I was a master of that sucker.
Oh, you did? Nice.
That's the Cessna right there.
Here you go. Here's a good picture.
Learjet.
Wow. There's this little. Huh.
I had the little video blaster sound card too, and so it sounded like damn it, but it's like that little speaker.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I like those kind of games. They're just kind of like relaxing. All right. Well, let's see. Okay. Well, I guess let's get back to the article. Let's go back. So now I think we've covered all our tangents. Let's go back to the original article. Okay. So here we go. No, wait. This is not the original. Nope, that's not it either. Let's see. Pull it all up.
That's
again.
It. At the
it is
dinosaur hit with the Asteroid.
Oh yeah, it is. You're right. There's the fossil right there. Oh my gosh, look at that.
How do they know?
It's a whole leg.
How do they know that's the one hit with the asteroid?
Let's find out. Let's see.
I smell clickbait.
All right. Okay, the claim is that the Tanis creature. Why is it called the Tanis creature? Oh, it's from the Tanis fossil site. Okay. So it was killed and entombed on the actual day the giant asteroid struck Earth. The day 66 million years ago, when the reign of dinosaurs ended, the rise of mammals began. Okay, let's keep going. I'm trying to see how do they know?
Scared by a wooden snake. A wooden stake.
Let's see. Well, here's just some information about the asteroid it hit. It said it was about 13 kilometers wide, and it hit in the Gulf of Mexico off the Yucatan Peninsula. Okay.
Chaotic jumble.
Okay, this is just a map. There's a map showing where it was found in North Dakota. Chaotic jumble. Okay, maybe that's an indication of why they thought it was a meteor site. Because I'm thinking chaotic jumble. It means just all the fossils are just kind of like it was like an explosion went off. Maybe it says the remains of animals and plants seem to have been rolled together in a sediment dump by waves of a river, set in train by unimaginable earth tremors. Aquatic organisms are mixed with land-based creatures. Okay, so that could be why.
So that's like a mass extinction event happened.
Exactly.
Everybody just got rolled into one.
Exactly. That's interesting. Yeah, there's a site. This is showing the distance between the meteor's hit and the location of the fossil site. Interesting. Okay, let's see. Okay, it says the sturgeon and paddlefish in this fossil tangle. These are two types of prehistoric fish, which are actually still alive today. They're kind of like living fossils. But it says those fossils are key. They have small particles stuck in their gills. These are the spherules of molten rock kicked out from the impact that then fell back across the planet. The fish would have breathed in the particles as they entered the river. Okay, there you go. That's why they're thinking.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's pretty clever. Okay, the spherules have been linked chemically and by radiometric dating to the Mexican impact location. And in 2 of the particles recovered from preserved tree resin, there are also tiny inclusions that imply an extraterrestrial origin. The meteor, I believe. Interesting. When we noticed there were inclusions within these little glass spherules? I'm guessing there's like a sphere-like particle. I don't know. My OCD's killing me. I got to find out.
I've never heard that word before. Spherical?
Yeah.
I bet it's like
Spherules.
Uralese or something.
Let's see. I'm going to guess that it means... I'm going to guess it's a sphere-shaped particle. Yeah. Particle of dirt.
Context clues points to it anyhow.
Exactly. Context clues.
I want to pronounce it like a Greek. It's spirulase.
Spirulase. Spirulase. All right.
Church it up a little bit. Samuel.
So here's a picture of some.
Spirule.
And here's an article. Spirally. Overview. Let's go ahead and let me click on this one. This is at Science Direct. I wonder if these are specific to... Okay. It says a spherule. The study of impact spheral layers is a relatively new development in the field of Precambrian geology, essentially dating from the publication of Lowe and Byerly in 1986. Okay, so this is a research paper. I think we're reading from Science Direct. So spherules occur in discrete layers that form regionally persistent markers beds. For example, the S1 layer in the Hogan-Noeg formation of the Onverwacht group persists along strike for tens of kilometers around fossils in the Barbitron Greenstone Belt. Okay, that's a lot of big words there. And here's some photos of them again. There's some deep sea. Right. And then here's some deep sea ones. Deep sea spherules. Interesting. I still don't. Let me go back because I'm still not really getting a good definition. That thing's pretty technical. I just want to get a. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Spherules were created when asteroids crashed into the Earth, vaporizing rock that expanded into space as a giant vapor plume. Okay.
That makes sense.
This one says, what are spherules? Spherules are the form that the fungus takes in a tissue, and this is a different type of spherule that has to do with fungus. Yeah, so it's basically, well, it just says they're formed when asteroids crash into the Earth, and they're vaporized rock that expanded into space as a giant vapor.
That makes sense. It's just basically trace, like gunshot residue.
Right, because it says small droplets of molten and vaporized rock in the plume condensed and solidified. So that's what it is. Okay, so it's molten and vaporized rock resulting from an asteroid plume, impact plume that condenses and solidifies and then falls back to Earth as a thin layer. Okay. Well, very cool. So they found these in the gills of fish in this location. And so that means that the fish were breathing in. Pretty crazy.
Always made me wonder when it came to sturgeon and sharks and shit like paddlefish. Like, why didn't they change any? Like, why was their beta version good enough just to stand the test of time? That's insane.
I think it's, I've guessed the same thing. I've wondered the same thing. And I think it's because they just got it right the first time.
Yeah, like bowfin and alligator
Alligator
snapping
gar,
turtles. They're all
alligator
like the same.
garfish.
Yeah, alligator gar. Like bowfin are the same. I've got dinosaur books with bowfin fossils in them, and you catch those things down the road from the house.
Yeah, yeah, they're fun to catch. They put up a fight. There's a
Alligator
paddlefish right
snapping
there.
turtle.
Paddlefish, I think, are finally getting into trouble. I think with their species numbers. I believe in some areas.
We don't have those here.
But
Well, not in this end of the state.
now let me look up the bowfin.
Bowfin and snakehead are close to the same. Snakehead is an invasive species, and bowfin's a native. Apparently, snakehead's one of the best eating fish in the world, which has my attention
Really, these sure are
because I
ugly.
like I like fish.
Let's see. Yeah, fish is good. Fish is
Bowfin.
healthy too.
I love it.
Oops,
Bluegill.
bluegill. I didn't
Not
mean
the
to
same.
click on blue.
Also delicious.
Yeah, nothing wrong with some fried bluegill.
You got to have 78 of them to get full, but they're good.
Yeah, we both have that love of seafood, don't we? Crawfish.
Oh man, I have an obsessive. I'll probably get some kind of what's it called? You get when you get too much iodine, gout. I'll probably.
Let's see. It says it's a group of fish that had first appeared in the early Triassic around
It is older.
250 million years ago. Yeah. And here's a.
That is OG. It's cool to see them swimming from above. Like if you're on a bridge, you see that top fin. Like, what is that? They sit there and go back and forth with it.
Nice.
First time I caught one was down the road from my parents' house, and they're notorious for having neon colored mouths.
Really?
And I caught one, and in that part of the country, all the old timers call them scaly cats because they have a little bitty right behind their mouth. They have a little bitty whisker like a catfish. So they'll call them scaly cats, and they got teeth like a dog. They got like scary looking teeth, but their mouth look like they've been eating popsicles. Some of them orange, some of them
Wow.
blue. I didn't know what I got a hold of.
Are they good eating? Good eating?
No, they're trash.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Well, we can't have it all sometimes.
They're not very popular. They're fun to shoot with a bow because they're kind of one of those fish that you're allowed to bow fish.
Mm-hmm.
And they get really long
right.
and they're really aggressive.
Interesting.
They get like 3 foot long or more.
Well, that's cool. Okay, so let's see. Back on the article, it says we were able to pull apart the chemistry and identify the composition of the material. All the evidence, all the chemical data from the study suggests strongly that we're looking at a piece of the impactor, the asteroid that ended the dinosaurs. That's pretty cool. Well, I'm sold. Maybe I'm gullible, but I believe these guys.
I mean, that evidence, just finding that in the fish gills, that's kind of a good one.
Yeah.
If they'd have found one that had just like a rock injury, I'm like, yeah, how do you know?
Right.
All of a sudden, 66 million years.
Okay, so here's something that I always talk about. I'm reading right here. It says, science usually demands the initial presentation of new discoveries is made in the pages of a scholarly journal or a peer-reviewed journal. A few peer-reviewed papers have now been published, and the dig team promises many more as it works through the meticulous process of extracting, preparing, and describing the fossils, because it is a bunch of fossils, it sounds like.
I bet it's a miss.
Yeah, probably, yeah. Let's see. Okay, so here's about
sea creatures. Yeah.
Here's talking about the specific dinosaur it is. So it says here that Professor Paul Barrett from London's Natural History Museum is looking at the leg. He's an expert in the ornithischian plant-eating dinosaurs, and he says it is a Testylosaurus. Testylosaurus.
Testylosaurus.
Testylosaurus. It's from a group that we didn't have any previous record of what the skin looked like. And it shows very conclusively that these animals were very scaly like lizards. They weren't feathered like their meat-eating contemporaries.
What do you think they turned into?
This is interesting. They probably died out, to be honest with you. They probably became extinct completely.
So like duck-billed and Parasaurolophus, they all just died?
Yeah, that's correct. Because the only dinosaurs that are still around, they turn into birds, but that's a group of dinosaurs called the Therosaur. And therosaurs were all carnivorous, and they were all bipedal. So that's your T-Rex, your Velociraptor. Not those specifically, but those types of dinosaurs. Any dinosaurs, that look like that. Those are the ones that survive. That's interesting, though. Why those? Maybe because their aggressiveness. I don't know.
And like the what are the brontosauruses called that don't exist? Diplodocus.
There's Diplodocus, Brachiosaur.
The four-legged big ones. They're called something.
Yeah. There's a.
And I guess they died out. I guess they died out too.
Yes, sir. Yeah, they did die out. Mm-hmm.
The old Diplodocus. R.I.P. Pour one out for him.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Let me see. This sounds pretty graphic right here. Okay. This looks like an animal whose leg has simply been ripped off really quickly. There's no evidence of the leg of disease. There are no obvious pathologies or diseases. There's no trace of the leg being scavenged, such as bite marks or bits of it that have been missing. So the best idea that we have is that the animal died more or less instantaneously, and his leg came ripped off. And I think this is right here. It says artwork. The thinking is that a water surge buried all the creatures at Tanis. And I guess that's the dinosaur. So there's the water kind of coming from the impact, even though it was thousands of miles away. Yeah. If I ever directed a movie, it would involve dinosaurs, and I think it's probably one of the most cinematic things that ever happened in real life is the giant meteor impact. And I don't know if it's been shown on film, or at least very well, but I would definitely have that in the film, show that impact. I mean,
they've tried to show it, but it's always just a streak in the sky, and
right,
it kind of fades to black.
Right. You know what movie had really good dinosaur scenes? I think it's called. It had Brad Pitt in it. I think it was called The Book of Life. Something. Let me see.
Brad Pitt.
It had Brad Pitt in it, and it has nothing to do with dinosaurs, but it's like a meditation on life, and it takes place. It's got Sean Penn in it. It takes place in Texas in the 50s. Movie. It's directed by Robert Malik, I think. The Tree of Life. That's what it's called. Yeah. So there's just a movie called The Tree of Life, and it just has these. I think it's just two scenes with dinosaurs, but they're some of the best dinosaurs I've ever seen. It's realistic. Realistically done. Well, don't want to see that. Let me see images. Have you heard of this movie, The Tree of Life?
Oddly enough, I haven't. Should.
Here's what it looks like. It's got Brad Pitt with Jessica Chastain. I think Brad Pitt plays Sean Penn's dad. So in the modern times, Sean Penn is in Houston, actually, and he's remembering his childhood. And his dad, Brad Pitt, was kind of a jerk, I think. And his mom was Jennifer Chastain. But for some reason, there's dinosaurs in it as well.
It looks really familiar.
Yeah. Yeah, there's one of the dinosaurs. He's right there.
More of a Bryce Dallas Howard fan myself.
Yeah, definitely like her. She's good. She's a good director, too. All right, let's go back to the article. Okay, let's see. Okay, the big question is whether the dinosaurs did actually die on the day the asteroid struck as a direct result of the ensuing cataclysm. The Tanis team thinks it very likely did, given the limb's position in the dig sediments. If that's the case, it would be quite the discovery.
Could have been 10 or 12 of them happen in that time of the year. I'd say time of year.
Mm-hmm.
And in that eon.
Right. Going back here, it says those fish with the spherules in their gills, they're an absolute calling card for the asteroid. But for some of the other claims, I'd say they have a lot of circumstantial evidence that hasn't been yet presented to the jury.
Pterosaur, baby.
It says for some of these discoveries, though, does it even matter if they died on the day or years before? The pterosaur egg with a pterosaur baby inside it is super rare. There's nothing else like it in North America. It doesn't all have to be about the asteroid. Okay, right here. Also, I wanted to read something on top. It said this Professor Brusate says it's possible that the animals that had died, they actually died before the impact, and they were exhumed by the violence of the day and then reinterred in a way that made the deaths appear concurrent. So yeah, maybe they died beforehand, but yeah. And then this guy's saying, like, who cares? They're cool fossils. And there's the embryo inside the egg right there.
Dude, that's insane.
Yeah, that's
I could just sit there and stare at that.
Yeah, it's very
and
cool.
Those brachiosaur and sauropods is what they're called.
Sauropods, that's the word we're looking for. Yeah. Let's see.
They run 30 miles an hour.
Oh. Here's what this is what the egg looks like. So it's kind of all in a little fetal position, kind of. But yeah, this is, I guess, a model of what the skeleton would look like of the little pterosaur. Pterosaurs are actually not dinosaurs; they're reptiles, prehistoric reptiles, but not actually dinosaurs.
Don't get me started on Dimetrodons.
Dimetrodon once again, Texas
Mammals.
native, but not dinosaurs.
They're a mammal. Freaked me out first time I learned that.
Let's see. So they use X-ray technology to determine the chemistry and properties of the eggshell. It was likely leathery rather than hard. Oh, kind of like a snake egg. That's interesting. Oh, which may indicate that the pterosaur mother buried the egg in a sand or sediment like a turtle. Wow.
I was about to say, like a turtle. Turtle does the same thing. A little spongy egg.
I would have never. That's interesting. I never would have thought that a pterosaur, a flying reptile, would have buried its eggs. I would have thought it had a bird's nest. That's what I always show them in the movies.
Yeah,
that's interesting. So it says baby pterosaur is probably a type of Asdarchid, a group of flying reptiles whose adult wings could reach more than 10 meters from. That's a big one. 10 meters from tip to tip. Cool. All right. You want to move on to another article?
Sure.
All right.
I got another one in me.
All right. Let's see. So we should do. Okay, let's do one more. Do you want to do? You said you had mentioned the chess robot.
Yeah, let's do the chess robot.
Yeah, let's do the chess robot.
That was. What about the guy that won the chess tournament from the anal beads? That was insane.
Wait. Back up again. What happened? Somebody won a chess tournament?
I don't know if it was a rumor or not. I don't know if it was a rumor. But this guy, I think it was a rumor that he did it. Now that I'm thinking back, but supposedly he had anal beads in his anal and found a way to get a Morse code of the next best move and beat like a world champion. The Morse code went to his beads.
Oh, okay. So they were communicating through the beads.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's crazy.
I think it might have been a rumor,
crazy,
but
Bobby. I've never heard of that before.
It was like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay. It was recent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
that's crazy.
They beat a world champion in the tournament, and they're like, "Wait, wow."
Let me do this up real fast.
Anal beads.
Okay, chess. And let me just type in. I'm just gonna type in beads.
There you go. There it is.
I'm not gonna type in. Anal.
When I read chess robot, I thought that because I thought it was about.
Okay, let me read this here. It says, this is from Euro News. Chess scandal, out with anal beads, in with cheating. Now, this little summary says, Neiman has been hit with accusations on social media which state that the only reason he won against the world's top grandmaster, Magnus Carlsen, earlier this month is that the young player cheated using wirelessly vibrating anal beads. Okay. That's wild.
Just the visual.
Yeah, I mean, I automatically understand how that works. I'm like, yeah, I see how that works. I'm even a little, I'm a little impressed by the commitment and the ingenuity. Interesting.
Yeah, you gotta want it for that. This guy wants to win. Give him the trophy.
Man, I didn't know chess was so crazy, man. Anal bead cheating and robots breaking children's fingers. Okay. The boy's parents intended to contact the prosecutor's office, said the Chess Federation president, saying his organization would try to help the family. So this is from Monday, 25th of July, 2022. Once again, published in Sky News. The author is... can't find it. Oh, okay. There's a video, but I don't want to play it. There's a... kind of see what the robot looks like. It's like a giant, basically. Oh, okay. I see a video of the robot breaking the boy's finger. I don't know. I don't know if I want to show that. We can just imagine it.
Really?
All right. I don't know about child abuse. Videos of child abuse. Let's see. Even if it is by a robot. A chess robot broke a 7-year-old boy's finger during a match at the Moscow Open, according to the Russian news outlet TASS. The match took place last week, from this article, according to Sergey Lazarev, the president of the Moscow Chess Federation. Okay. He says, of course, this is bad. Let's see. Let's get some details. Okay, so he says the robot was rented by us. It has been exhibited in many places for a long time. It's telling to move, and after that, we need to give time for the robot to answer. Okay, that makes sense. But the boy hurried, and the robot grabbed him. He's like, no, wait. Listen here, you little shit. I'm not done. The boy grabbed him. We had nothing to do with the robot.
I wonder if it was like a factory accident. Like the robot was just doing its thing.
Instructions. I mean, I have to assume it's exactly that. That's all it was. It was just it was just,
like a bender.
Yeah, the robot was just doing its
my
thing.
shiny metal ass. Hold on, my move.
It's not clear whether it's not clear whether any safety instructions were issued to the boy before playing with the robot. There's a video that was shared online. Okay. So during the video, the robotic arm, which appears to have a gripping tool at the end, seems to pinch the boy's finger as he quickly responds to the robot's move. So yeah, I think he was just acting too quick. The child played the very next day, finished a tournament in a cast, and the volunteers helped to record the moves. And as the robot's operator will have training, protection, so the situation. Yeah, it happened in a Moscow tournament.
Hot take, I think the kid did it so he didn't have to go fight in the Ukraine. He knew he was going to get drafted, so he just got his finger broke by a chess playing robot.
Yeah. In his stolen valor, maybe?
Yeah. I think he did it to dodge the draft.
Let's see. Let me show you this Elon Musk robot real fast.
Sure, goodness, I've seen it.
A humanoid robot. It's very recently, I think. Here it is right here.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. Optimus reminded me of.
I mean, I want to have a robot friend, maybe a girlfriend. Okay, look, I want to have a robot girlfriend. But it looks like we're really far in the future, and that's very disappointing. I mean, so it says, when is this article dated? This is from October 3rd, which is, I guess, today, yeah. So the Optimus robot did not dazzle robotic experts and can't yet walk, but if the project delivers, it could give the company an edge in manufacturing. So it's very early on.
What does it do? Stands there?
Well, it says here that he's been promising this robot for more than a year. Prototypes haven't failed, but they didn't exactly dazzle with their ability. The advanced robot made with all tested, close production ready, waved unsteadily before being shown on the stage. Like a wave. That's cool. Says there's a second humanoid robot. It's in rough development. Tesla part, and it can walk free unsteadily. Okay, and somebody's making it would 5 years is laughable. Oh my god. I'm never gonna have a robot. Oh well. My great grandkids will.
You think they will? Robot? Oh, there it is. I lost my tab where you were on it. Where did it go? There we go.
Oh, sorry. What were you saying, Bobby? I think the connection.
I lost my tab where you were, where this meeting was.
Oh, okay.
I was like, where did my tab go?
Oh, okay. But let me catch up on comments real fast.
Yeah, I was wondering about the comments. Where they been?
Yeah, I've been kind of neglecting them because I've been kind of looking at them. So sorry, everybody.
Off.
No, they're here. Let's see. Okay, so let's catch up on comments real fast. Sorry, guys. I know I usually.
Things got real with the upland mower. I get on certain kicks and I can't stop.
Right, let's see. Okay, so Iowalks. This is going back. Iowalks says, supposed to do when the pain ain't an act. Sit back and watch everything you love fade to black. Real pain versus sad. Okay, so Iowalks is sharing some thoughts, some words.
That actually wasn't bad.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, I'm always impressed with Iowalks.
Sounds like a 90s have you seen his channel? Lyric. I dabbled in it not too long ago.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Iowalks, are you currently having pain? I'm sorry if you have, buddy. If you are, buddy. Okay, then we have just Mr. Catfish says, "Yo." Mr. Catfish is in the room. And then Skippy says, "Dude, I think I'm gonna get a. Have you heard about the Steam Deck, the little portable video game player? It's like a portable gaming PC."
Mm-hmm. I have a gamer at work that talks about them all the time.
I think I'm gonna get one, man, because this laptop is not cutting it. It's not strong enough for streaming. And that little Steam Deck is actually can be used as a computer. It could be used as an actual. You could run Windows and everything on it.
What kind do you have?
And you could, right now I have a ThinkPad. That's what I have. Which are they're good for typing and stuff.
They got me the beefy MacBook Pro.
There you go, buddy. That's what I need. Okay, Scotty B says he broke his back, had many operations, having another one in January. Pain sucks. Oh man, I hope you get better, Scotty.
That sounds bad.
And then Mr. Yeah. And then Mr. Catfish said he's let's see.
About to use some weed.
Yeah, I'm about to use some weed to open my mind. Be right back, chat family. And then Miss Scotty said, "Don't Bogart."
Don't Bogart it.
This is funny. And then he says, Mr. Catfish says he replied. Let's see. This is pretty funny, actually. If I could ever show. Okay, so then Mr. Catfish says, "Scotty, what a word! I have to use my Echo Dot for that one." She's talking about bogarting, and he replied, "I thought I thought you wanted some yogurt. I was like, my fridge is empty, man. That's what he says.
Hey, don't bogart that blunt.
That's funny. Let's see.
I wish I could see the chat.
And then
On this
Scotty,
one like you can on YouTube.
all right. Oh, you can see it. I mean, if you have your phone out or something, a little laptop, you could kind of peek at it.
Yeah.
You like a secondary screen.
I didn't think about it. I did it on my phone and screwed up my pods a while ago. I'm like, what am I doing? I know better than this.
Okay, Scotty B says we don't even have medicinal pod in Wisconsin, but hemp and CBD works. Then Mr. Catfish said he had to order some emergency Chinese food.
Understand that. Interesting take. There was an article that went popular, or a video popular last weekend about the best Chinese food in your hometown has 3.5 Yelp stars. Not 4, not 3, 3.5.
Oh.
And
Okay.
and three means it's actually bad food. Too many means the white people like it too much.
Ah, okay.
3.5 means it scares away all the Karens, but it's still good enough food. And all my favorite Chinese food places had 3.5. It was insane. What's Mr. Catfish saying here? Reading up on something last night. 1830. You know, there was a dinosaur fossil found in the 1600, and the reconstruction looks like a 5-year-old made it.
I think I heard about that.
Yeah, it had like a big horn and the tail and 2 feet. They were finding them forever. What do you think dragons came from? They were either real or they were dinosaur bones.
Right. Or maybe dinosaurs that were still alive.
Mm-hmm.
Some type of animal.
But
probably the bones. Yeah.
I kind of hope that Matthew McConaughey movie where he was
in
yeah. I kind of hope that was halfway realistic.
Rain of Fire is an awesome movie. I saw it in theaters actually when it first came out. The movie's awesome.
It is underrated.
All right,
let's anything dragons. I mean, House of Dragons. That's an awesome show. I could put it on mute and just show me the dragons.
I'm waiting for that one to finish up before I watch it. I'm just going to kind of binge it. Yeah. Okay, here we go. The first president never knew what dinosaurs were. That's a recent thing, I guess. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, Scotty says he does Delta-9 gummies for bed with pain meds and a muscle relaxers. That's funny. I actually just bought some Delta-9 online, but it's like a water soluble distillate. So it's just some powder. See how that goes for me.
I'm on the hydrocodones right now, but it's just for the sore face.
Right.
They don't do me any good.
Oh no.
Make me a little bit woozy. I really don't need them anymore. Speaking of presidents, did you know that there was a 12-year period where a samurai could have sent a fax to Abraham Lincoln?
Really?
Mm-hmm. Wrap your mind around that one.
That's crazy. I like that though. Mr. Catfish is asking about Delta-9, whether it works. I'm a little suspicious of them. Yeah, I mean, they definitely make you feel something. Delta-9 is it's basically, okay, so I think Trump passed this hemp farm bill when he was in office. So what that said is that in America, at least now, you could legally grow hemp, which is, I think the only difference between hemp and marijuana is the content of psychoactive chemicals in it. But so people started growing hemp legally now so they can make clothes and rope and stuff out of it. But you could also use some of the cannabinoids, or some of the chemicals in them are legal. So like CBD is one, Delta-9 is one. So what companies are doing now is they're growing hemp in America and they're extracting some of these chemicals that have some psychoactive effects like Delta-9. And they are legal in the US as of now. And they're actually allowed to have THC in them, but it's very low. It's like 0.3% or something. It's very low.
I get really I get frustrated at that being. I'm not to get political. I'm not the most left leaning person on a
Mhm.
lot of things, but I get frustrated on the cannabis issue because it's clearly big pharma trying to keep people down.
Mhm.
I've got somebody I know really close. I'm not going to say their name, but they have a
Sure.
neurological disease that
Mhm.
causes issues, physical issues, and they've recently been able to acquire some Delta 8 or Delta 9, and it
Mhm.
literally cures it.
Right.
And it brings them back to a normal person. I'm like, well, it's clearly the reason. There's 90% of it's big pharma.
Right. No, I gotta agree. Yeah, I gotta agree. Yeah, I mean, there's a debate out there that if it becomes legal, like within the country, then a lot of big companies will step in and just kind of monopolize it. But I'm like, okay, that's okay as long as people can also grow it themselves because it is incredibly easy to grow.
Mm-hmm.
So
It
you don't have to.
stops a lot
Yeah,
of the pharmaceuticals.
yeah, it does. It really does. And I don't know. Okay. Here's a question. Because it's playing devil's advocate a little bit. There are certain people that definitely shouldn't use it. Like if you have certain psychological disorders, like you're paranoid or schizophrenia, or you're just super anxious, perhaps some of
Mm-hmm.
those people shouldn't do it. And there's also very potent strains that people probably nobody should use, honestly. But the
Oh yeah,
question is, if it becomes legal, would you think those people that shouldn't use it would be more likely to use it than if it were to remain illegal? Because that would be the only kind of thing I could see against legalizing it.
I don't know. I mean, there's people that shouldn't eat macaroni and cheese, so it's that's a fine line to play with about anything because you got alcohol legal. They're gonna get a hold of it regardless.
Yeah, it's also like the kind of infantilizing. Sometimes just some words I just cannot say. It's treating adults like children, basically, like
Mm-hmm.
saying, "We're the government. We're your parent. We know better. We're going to keep
I
you
hate
safe."
being told I can't have something.
Right.
that's that's what gets me on the gun thing. Nobody needs. I'm like, well, now I want 3 of them.
I wonder about this. You have kids. I don't have kids, but I would. Sometimes I'm like, okay, if I have a kid, I'm going to be like, look, you're not allowed to wash the dishes. I never want to see you washing those dishes. Okay, like you're strictly forbidden. It's too much fun. And then just to see if they'll actually wash the dishes.
That's not going to work.
The second word.
No, I see straight through that shit. They ain't going to wash the dishes.
Like, okay, fine, I won't watch them.
Kids discover what's boring and what's not really quick. That dopamine hit is their bread and butter at that age.
Ah,
If it's not producing serotonin, they don't want it.
let's see.
My oldest daughter's like me when it comes to creating stuff like this.
Mhm.
She'd do this all day. You get her to do one thing, like pick up her clothes, she's a different person.
Hmm. Okay, let me see. Go back to these comments real fast. Ba, 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 ba.
Iowalks is
We got
deep. What's he never been on? We need to get
yeah.
Iowalks
I need.
on.
I want to have some of these people on for
God,
sure.
he's a bit. Iowalks, do you want to be on the podcast on mine? Because we'll go deep. I mean, I'll turn you loose.
There you go, Iowalks. You have an invitation
Hey,
to go
hey,
on Bobby Dizzle's show.
I feel like this can needs to be open. I've been reading his comments for the better part of a year. I got to know what's behind them.
Yeah, I mean, well, I want to have I want to have you on too. I wanted to produce some original music for me. I think that'd be good, or just play some
I
music
keep confusing him with Rican
Really?
Havoc
Hmm.
because it's just the I. I think it's.
Yeah.
I reached out to him today, and Preston didn't.
Okay, you got back to Preston. What did he say?
Mm-hmm. Maybe something in the works within a week from now,
Oh,
or 2
nice.
weeks,
Okay.
or what day? What day is it? 3 weeks from now.
So
I
yeah,
keep thinking
Preston Dennett is really big into the UFO community, and here's what the thing about Preston Dennett. He's so into the things that are abducting us, the gray aliens. He's so into this. He's so into the fact that they are real and they are actually extraterrestrial. They're not like interdimensional. They're not tricking us. They're actually from other planets, and that they're beneficial. That they're good. They're good. And he's really on that side. So I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of people don't like to be abducted, and there's a lot of stories out there of people having very unpleasant experience. But
it's possible that all things are possible. It could be extra, ultra. I mean, if that veil of technology exists, then anything's possible. It could be just super terrestrial people like us that managed to make it here physically, and they're doing it as well.
That's a good point.
Like the Dothraki version.
It could be that maybe the group that Preston is dealing with is just one group among many.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
that's what I was saying. It could be anything. I mean, there could be different versions of all of it.
Iowak says the industry is designed to have every single artist in debt. They will regret what you did when the truth unfolds. Also, John P. Adventures is here. Thank you for being here, John. He says he tried CBD, but he's used to THC, so he finds it very weak. And in Spain, you could have 3 plants at home. Are you from Spain? I'm pretty sure you're European, John, but are you from Spain? And he's saying that in Spain, you could have 3 plants. Oops, I think I blocked Mr. Catfish. Hold on. Can somebody who's a mod unblock Mr. Catfish? I think it says he's blocked. I didn't block him. Or maybe I did block him on accident. Hold on. Let's see. Anyway, if we have a mod in there, can you please unblock Mr. Catfish? And Mr. Catfish, I'm sorry I blocked you if I did. Oh yeah, so Scotty B is saying that you could grow hemp in Wisconsin. You need a license, and the THC has to be 0.003%, very low. And then
Wisconsin's trying to steal
as far as I think dishes. I think, let's see, hold on. Okay, John P. Adventure says I have 2 kids. They liked it for the first time. Are you talking about the dishes? And then Scotty B says my kids are 43 and 38, and they never came over to do my dishes. Laugh out loud.
I know it's getting to an age where they're going to have to do it whether they like it or not. Because when they get too young, they're just going to do more damage than they would have. But once they can be able to figure it out, it's not a choice.
Gotcha.
You don't have to that lawnmower.
And Mr. Catfish is back. Great. Okay, he's been unblocked. All right, Bobby. Well, I don't know if you want to do that. Last one was kind of short, but if you need to cut it off here, that's fine. Or we could do another one really quickly for like 20 minutes. It's up to you, Bobby.
Okay, we'll do one more.
Okay, let's go back to the list.
I don't really have much going on right now.
That robot one was kind of like right to the point, you know.
Mm-hmm.
This robot just broke some kid's finger in Russia, and we wish him the best. Okay. Okay.
He'll enjoy.
Do you remember
Ukraine
what was the third one? The pig organ. Is that correct?
Yeah, zombie pigs. Yeah.
All right, here we go. Okay, so we're going to wrap up with this article, which I think this is going to have some implications to humans because have very similar organs to humans. And that's why people have been trying to get pig organs transplanted into humans because there is a shortage of organs for humans. There's waiting lists if you need a replacement organ. So let's see. So once again, this comes from the BBC. Like I said, I got all these articles from Welcome to the Show, and he's from Europe. He's from
these are some good ones.
United Kingdom, I believe. Yeah. Okay, so here we go. BBC. Name of the article is "Pig Organs Partially Revived an Hour After Death" on the 3rd of August, and the author was James Gallagher. Reading here. Pig organs have been partially revived an hour after the animals were killed in a breakthrough with the potential to transform medicine, says U.S. researchers. The technique could increase the number of organs available for transplant and buy doctors more time to save a life if applied to people. The study also challenges assumptions about what happens in the moments between life and death. Experts say the findings were truly remarkable and incredibly significant. When the heart stops beating, the body is starved of oxygen and the nutrients it needs to survive. Organs swell in size, blood vessels collapse, and cells, the building blocks of the body's organs, begin to die. This cellular death was thought to be rapid and permanent, but researchers at Yale University have undone some of that damage in animals which have been dead for an hour. We can restore some function of cells across multiple vital organs that should have been dead, says Professor Ninad Sestan. These cells are functioning hours after they should not be. All right. What do you think about that so far, Bobby?
I just want to know what they mean by revive.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good question. So far, it's kind of it's kind of vague.
I guess breakdown. I don't know. You wouldn't think stuff would, because everything's warm like an hour after death.
Is it? Yeah, I guess so.
Because you got to hang up a deer at night. I'm trying to scroll up your article. Jesus Christ! I'm like, why don't this scroll? But yeah, I mean, I guess it makes sense. They put stuff on. They put in those little coolers after someone has a wreck.
Right. All right. Well, let's get some more information here. So it says the research team performed a similar feat on just a pig brain in 2019. Now they have adapted their technology called Organ X to work across the whole body. Okay, so they have patented this technology called Organ X. So it uses a synthetic blood to carry oxygen around the body. This does not clot, so it can navigate the collapsing blood vessels within the pig. A cocktail of 13 compounds to interrupt the chemical process that accumulates in cells dying, known as apoptosis, and to calm the immune system. Okay. A device to rhythmically pump the fluid around the body to mimic the pulse of a beating heart. Okay, so they use some chemicals, 13 chemicals. They use a fake blood, and they use a device that pumps this cocktail fluid around the body.
How old is this article?
Let's see.
I assume it's
this
newer.
August. Yeah.
Have you ever seen the movie Dragonfly?
No,
Kevin
I have not
Costner.
seen Dragonfly.
Yeah, there is a scene. There is a scene. Oh, it's a scene where it's a movie about where the guy's Kevin Costner's a doctor and his wife dies doing missionary work in South America in the jungle, and he keeps seeing signs from her, and it's scary. It's pretty good, but it's still scary because I'm scared of those movies. But at one point, there is a biker that wrecked, on the highway. He's brain dead. They put him on life support, and he's breathing. And he walks in. That the biker who's dead talks to him. Yada yada yada. But I'm getting to the point where he was on life support so they could preserve his organs.
Mm-hmm.
Like it seems like this is kind of what they're doing here.
Yeah, that sounds very similar.
I don't know if that's a common practice with people that perish in that fashion. Maybe hit their head. The rest of them's good.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That's a good point.
It's a good movie though. It'll worry you to death, but
is it a horror or like a drama?
It's in the scary ghost department, but more of a psychological thriller kind of thing. There's there's a couple of jump scares. It's not like a slasher or anything.
Gotcha.
Well worth the view though.
And what's it called again?
Dragonfly.
Oh, that's a memorable name for a movie.
Kevin.
Are there any dragonflies in it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
She had like a dragonfly tattoo.
Okay.
Spoiler alert.
All right. So it says the experiments were published in the journal Nature. Okay, so there's two big scientific journals that like every scientist wants to get published in there. It's like bragging rights. So there's this journal called Nature. So all the biggest discoveries get published here. Nature, that's in the UK. That's their big journal. And then in America, we have one called Science. So anyway, this one was published in Nature. It involved about 100 pigs that were given an ethical approval before going ahead. Okay, so experiments were given ethical approval before going ahead. Whenever you do an experiment with any type of vertebrate animal, so an animal with bones, you have to get approved by an organization. And it's basically supposed to ensure that the animals don't undergo unnecessary suffering. But I will say a lot of those are very cruel anyway. So I hate to see the ones they reject based on the ones that they go ahead and greenlight. So then it says, scientists deeply anesthetized the animals and then stopped their hearts. After being dead for an hour, they were connected to the Organ X system and given the retroactive cocktail for 6 hours. The anesthetic was maintained throughout the experiments. Anesthetic, so they kept them. So even after they killed them, they kept them anesthetized. Is that what it's saying for the whole 6 hours?
Yeah.
I guess in case they came back to life. I guess that makes sense.
How long until this is used to bring people back to life?
I mean, yeah, I think that's the implication here.
Because I've seen stories where the brain was still active like an hour afterwards.
Right. Yeah, those are great. Also, the stories about people. It seems like some people, when they die, like being frozen, like in a frozen lake, they could be revived. Something about being frozen, kind of, I don't know, preserves your body or something. Okay, so there was restoration of electrical activity in the heart, and some heart muscle cells were able to contract. However, the organs were not functioning at the same level as before death. So then this researcher, Dr. Vonimir Veliha, said, things are not as dead as we previously presumed. This is a good article for like a spooky Halloween season.
Yeah, that's a quote right there.
Yeah. Things are not as dead as we previously presumed. We have demonstrated that we can actually initiate cell repair on a molecular level. We can persuade cells not to die. Okay.
I'd almost believe that on something like a spleen or a liver, because they're half in the bag all the time anyway.
Yeah.
So I bet you could do. I bet it'd be easier on. I bet this comes a long way on the liver.
You know, the other technology this reminds me of is, have you heard about these? There's one scientist who really wanted to do a full head transplant, or I guess a full body transplant. This is how you look at it. Basically, there's a paraplegic man who doesn't have a long time to live, and he can't move from the neck down. And I think his prognosis is bad. He might die in a few years. And then this doctor convinced him, like, hey, let's try this experimental surgery where we reattach your head to a body, a donor body, someone who had died recently, a donor body, but their body is like intact. Their body isn't damaged with disease or with injuries. Maybe they were brain dead. Maybe somebody died just because they're brain dead, but their body's still good. And then this other individual, his body's not good, but his brain is good. And then apparently what the technology was that allowed this to happen was that he developed a method to sever the spinal cord, like very, very a very nano scale. So he invented some kind of like nano like blade to cut the sever the spinal cord really well. And then he developed some kind of chemical cocktail compound. You basically just slap it on the severed spinal cord of the recipient and the donor, and then the combination of those two technologies would allow the body to accept a new head. Have you heard about this?
That sounds familiar, but it also sounds like he's putting the cart before the horse. Like, why doesn't he use it to as like a coupling to use their old spinal cord?
Okay, just to fix their own, yeah.
Yeah, like to cut off the parts that are bad and fuse them together. Maybe make their neck take out a vertebrae.
That's a good point.
Did I just come up with that? I mean, I feel like let's not use one. I mean, their body obviously probably still works a little. It's obviously keep them alive.
Well, what's interesting too is that this reminds me of, I mean, this isn't all science fiction because this is legit. There have been people have transplanted the head of a monkey to another monkey's body, and the head has remained alive. Not for a long time, but it has remained alive. And they've done it with a dog too. So they've taken a dog's head and they put it on another body, and the dog head remained alive. Maybe just for a few days or hours, but it happened.
Why am I thinking Sarah Jessica Parker on Mars Attacks?
Yeah, there you go.
Put her head on that dog. She starts scratching. That's the first thing I thought about when you said that.
Let's see. Hold on a second. Yeah.
In honor of Hocus Pocus 2 coming out over the weekend.
Sarah Jessica Parker, Mars Attacks. Dog.
Michael J. Fox was on there too.
There you
go. And she starts scratching. This is where my mind goes. I can't do anything serious.
She looks so happy though.
That movie was a classic.
Yeah, I need to rewatch it. That's a good Halloween playlist. Oh, and it's her dog too, I guess. Not just any dog. Maybe that's why she's happy.
She got abducted and the aliens did that to her.
You know what's really scary? What if the most realistic depiction of aliens are the Mars Attacks aliens from Tim Burton's Mars Attacks? That's actually how they think and everything.
Right.
All right, let's go back to these pig organs. Okay, so then. This thing's. I just read something that looks scary. Okay. Okay, I'm right here. At one point, the pigs' heads and necks began moving spontaneously. It could be a sign that they were recovering some motor function, but that will need further investigation. Neuroscientist Dr. David Andrijevic said it was quite a startling moment. However, he said it was not indicative of any mental activity on the part of the pig. So the head and the neck began moving.
So they didn't have like any kind of brain reading. I think that would have been part of it. Like, let's make if it comes back to life.
Let's see. Let's keep reading.
Why would there not be? What are they called? Diodes, nodes.
Right. Yeah, there's little diodes stuck on the.
You would think that would be just like a precautionary measure, just in case.
Right. Yeah. Let's keep reading. Maybe they did do that, but that'd be good. Oh, or actually, before we read, let me see if anybody has any comments to say.
Me jumping ahead again.
No, it's no problem. It's no problem. Let's see. I'm just gonna see the comments here.
Oh, there's the comments. I can see it over here.
Yeah, I have them pulled up right here.
This dude said warp speed this shit.
Let's see. Okay, let's see. Let's go up. Okay. Mr. Catfish says, no. They were talking about how I blocked, so somebody blocked Mr. Catfish, and then Mr. Catfish says, no mistakes allowed. And then John P. Adventure says, it wasn't me.
It wasn't me. I was here the whole time.
Yeah, it might have been me, but I don't think it was me. And Mr. Catfish says he's kidding. Okay, then John P. Adventure says, yeah, first heart surgery in America, the man lasted 5 months. Okay, so he's saying perhaps that the first ever surgery that was done on a person, he lasted 5 months. That makes sense. That checks out. I mean, you're the first one to ever get that. Okay, and then Scotty B says, Mr. Catfish, I did not block you. I think Trees did it by accident. Yeah, I might have done it by accident. Sorry. Then Mr. Catfish says, let me eat my Chinese food, please. I want to listen. Laugh aloud. Mr. Catfish says, I'm not a good mod. I play around too much. Trust me, you guys can monitor me. It's okay. Moderate me. I'm done dogging the pork fried rice. Okay. Now I'm all yours, Scott. Warp speed, Scotty. Warp speed this shit. Get us out of here. The fucking reptilians want to eat us. God damn it.
But they just lost their queen mother a couple weeks ago. They're down for the count.
Yeah, they're doing kind of bad there. They lost the queen.
They took an L.
Well, she had a good run, I guess.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he decided to have his noodles and couldn't make it to the command center. Okay. They gave Mr. Catfish got a bunch of soy sauces.
There's like another conversation going on over here.
Okay, I think we're caught up with their soy sauce conversation. Soy boys. I actually love soy. I love soy. I like tofu. Do you like tofu? Like fried tofu, Bobby?
I like it during Lent.
Okay.
You can go to Moe's and get it in your burrito.
Oh, okay. Well, see,
I like
have you ever had
soup?
Have you ever had tofu that's been like really deep fried, so it's really crispy on the outside and soft on the inside?
I've heard it was good.
Yeah, I recommend.
I don't even know where I would get it around here though. It's gotta be here somewhere.
Chinese place, maybe an Asian food.
Like
place.
I told you, this is the Austin of the South.
Yeah,
it's this place in like Charlotte.
Interesting. So, what do you mean by that? You mean it's like very trendy? It's got a lot of.
Yeah, it's getting really, really gentrified.
Gentrified, okay.
Yeah, with all the businesses coming in.
Okay.
It's becoming like the Pentagon, and so like everywhere you go has food trucks and new restaurants, and not so much lefty. I mean, to an extent, but like there's all the little areas are getting named. You know, like the Shitty Paw Town from South Park.
Yeah.
They're all getting these little areas. Lots of tacos.
Nice. All right, so it says here, just like the experiment. Okay, no, wait. Okay, just like the experiment in 2019, there was evidence of repair in the brain, but there were no brain waves or electrical activity that would suggest consciousness or awareness. So there you go. So no brain waves, no electrical activity.
I jumped ahead.
It's all right. No problem at all, Bobby. Okay, medical advance, question mark. It will take considerably more research before the technology could be adapted to be used on people. But I mean, does the government? How far ahead is the government or China? You know, I'm sure China. Look, I'm not gonna single out China. Let's just say I'm sure some countries out there are doing advanced unethical research, and they're far ahead of what this is public research. I think the public research is probably behind the private research that's done in secret.
You know how in the movies the mad scientists that always do the crazy shit were like in a lab with a big switch? I wonder if that goes on in real life. Like doing all the guy from Human Centipede comes to mind. You know, not necessarily that dramatic, but like guys having their own labs with medical stuff performing that kind of thing. I wonder if that goes on.
It has to. I gotta say, I think it has to. Yeah.
Like the mad. You don't ever hear of good mad scientists anymore.
That's the thing about science is that it's open to everybody. I mean, anybody can learn, regardless of where you live, what language you speak, or how much money you have. The principles of science are easily taught and learned, and so you could, and then if you advance to higher levels, you could be self-taught. Yeah, you could have nobody is stopping you from having a private lab, and you don't have to tell anybody about it, not even your significant other. And you could do whatever great things or whatever abominations you want to do. And so I do think that happens.
Yeah, it makes you think.
Yeah.
Like who's like a real life Dupin Smirts?
Or where's he from? Dupin Smirts?
The Phineas and Ferb.
Okay,
they're super villain.
Okay.
Dupin Smurfs. He's always doing. He's like their mad scientist.
Interesting. Well, I wonder if
the guy that made the octopus arms from Spider-Man.
Yeah,
that kind of guy.
Dr. Oct. Yeah, well, I wonder if like maybe someone like Elon Musk has got his private research and his public research. You know,
that's what came to mind when I said that. People like him, like he could like pay his own guys.
No, absolutely. The other thing about science is that like a lot. Look, there's two aspects of science. I think if you're actually doing science as you're a researcher, there's you could be the idea man. There's the idea man. Okay, so you got the idea and you know how to do it, but then there's the grunts. You know, there's a lot of lab work that has to be done to get these great ideas done. Now, someone like myself right now, like I have to do both. You know, and when I was in school, you know, I had to do both. I came up with the ideas, and I was the one in the lab all hours of the night, looking at a microscope, writing things down. But if you have enough money, or you get a grant, then you could just be the idea guy, and you could just supervise all the grunts. And if you have enough grunts and they're good, then you could supercharge your science, and you could have it done quickly. And so someone like Elon Musk is in that situation. He's got the money, so he's the idea man. He could come up with an idea. He's got enough of an understanding to monitor it and make sure that it doesn't get screwed up, but he doesn't have to spend all his time in the lab.
Like Steve Jobs, make this fit in here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's a great point. That's a great example too. Yeah.
I want all my music in this box.
Yeah. That's the kind of power I want. That's what I'm
shooting for.
Yeah, make these dreams come true. I have a dream and make it come true. All right, let's see. It will take considerable more research before this technology could be used on people. However, the initial aim is to preserve transplant organs for longer so they can get to patients who need them. That sounds like a noble cause. I think the technology has a great deal of promise for ability to preserve organs after they've been removed from a donor, says Stephen Latham, the director of Yale's Interdisciplinary Center for Bioethics. More distant ambitions include making even more people suitable organ donors after death. and even as a treatment. Commenting on the study, Dr. Sam Perina, director of the Critical Care and Resuscitation Research at New York University, said that the study was truly remarkable and incredibly significant, and it could help explain reports. Oh, this is interesting. This popped out of nowhere. It could help explain reports of near-death experiences. Huh. What does he mean by that? I wish he would expand on that little grain of information.
It probably means that we're not dead when we think we're dead.
Okay.
It probably means we could last like an extra hour.
Right.
So people that are just dead on the table, just.
That makes sense. Thank you. Yeah. You have a brilliant mind.
That's what I always try to find out what they're talking about and stuff like this, but that's probably what it means.
No, I absolutely. Now that you mentioned it, I absolutely agree with you.
Who knows if the simulation we're in our avatar goes back to when we die? Who knows what that software upload process involves? So it definitely could be a thing.
Yeah. Very cool.
As I put it in the most harsh terminology possible.
Sounds good to me, Bobby. I like it. I like the way that sounds. Okay, then he says the technology could also be used to buy people more time. Be used to buy more time for doctors to treat people whose bodies were starved of oxygen, such as those who died from a drowning or a heart attack. He added, this could bring people back to life many hours after death.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
I always wondered if the people who died in like an IED explosion that turned to pink mist, I always wondered if they had like a white light experience or if they were immediately just transferred, if it exists, to like the afterlife. Like, oh, what the hell? What happened? What did I touch?
Right.
Kind of like when you touch an electric fence by accident. You're like, what happened?
Right. That's a good point because like a death like an explosion or like that meteor. Let's bring it back to that first article. If you were to die in a meteor explosion, I mean, yeah, there's no bringing you back to life. I mean, that is an instant death, an instant and permanent death. There's no because you're just obliterated. So yeah, I wonder if you go straight to the afterlife like that. Whereas if you die of a heart attack or a drowning, it sounds like at least for an hour.
It's almost like you can peter around a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. But is that pleasant? I don't know if that's actually a pleasant thing.
I hope to never know. Count on that jealous husband just to take me in the headshot. Just right in the nugget. I don't want to know I don't want to limp out of this. But on the same vein of that article with the preservation of organs, whatever happened with that technology where they were growing the artificial organs with the people's tissues?
With their own tissue?
They say if you needed a liver, they would put it over like a mold of a liver or whatever, along a heart, and it would grow. It used to grow ears on the side of rats.
I saw that. Yeah.
Whatever happened with that? Like I remember they were doing like a thing where they would grow because it wouldn't reject it if it was your own tissue.
Right.
They could take your stem cell or whatever it's called and make it into something. I wonder what happened with that because it's got to be the same. That would almost be ideal because say you just found out you had cirrhosis or your liver was failing. Like, well, give us 6 months and like a piece of your inner thigh, and we'll have you one ready.
Right.
Do you want it to be colored? You can have it pink.
I don't know. Do you want me to look it up real fast?
Oh, sure. Go ahead. I mean, I was thinking about it when they were talking about preserving. I'm like, whatever happened with that?
All right, Bobby. So in this stream, I've learned a lot about you. I think we have a lot in common. One thing we have in common is I learned you are a Google master. You know exactly what to Google to find
Master
what you need. So what should I
practicing
Google?
To be young Jamie from JRE.
Oh yeah, there you go. You could be your own young Jamie. You'll be Joe Rogan and young Jamie. Okay, so what should I?
Well, let's see. Artificial transplant organs from your own tissue.
Artificial transplant.
I love it when Alex Jones is on Rogan and tells them what to Google. Google man falls in frog pit. Man falls frog pit, Texas.
That's what's funny because it's like, there's a different language when you're Googling something,
Yeah, you can't. You gotta know what the SEO is all about.
Yeah. Google free Denny's, 5 p.m. Okay, but yeah, this first one seems to be an article. Let's see what it
That's
says.
it. That's freaking
That's
it.
it, right? All right, let's look at it. Okay, so this seems to be an actual like legitimate scientific paper. So it's called Bio Artificial Organ Manufacturing Technologies. It's published. It's the author is X Wang, and yeah, that's a badass name. And
X-Wing.
it's published in 2019, and it's cited by 48. So 48 other researchers have used this paper in their own paper. So let's see. Let's see what X Wang has done with his bioartificial organ manufacturing technologies. That's a mouthful.
This is a porn site. It's got to be.
What journal is this? Okay, so it's actually in the Journal of Cell Transplant. Cell transplant. So I guess it's
an NIH
that's what
journal.
it looks like. National Library of
NIH.gov.
Yeah, NIH.gov. National Institute of Health. Yeah. Okay, so here's the abstract, guys. If you remember an abstract, every scientific article has an abstract. It's usually just a summary of the entire research paper, so you don't have to read the whole thing. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into this, and let's see what it says. So this is pretty recent, Bobby, so this should give us an update. This is from, it says it was published in
2018.
2018. Okay, so just a few years ago. Okay, so it says, bioartificial organ manufacturing technologies are a series of enabling techniques that can be used to produce human organs based on bionic principles. During the last 10 years, significant progress has been achieved in the development of various organ manufacturing technologies. According to the degree of automation, organ manufacturing technologies can be divided into three main groups: fully automated, semi-automated, hand-worked or handmade. Oh, you got your artisanal organs, you know? Each has its advantages and disadvantages for bioartificial organ manufacturing. One of the most promising bioartificial organ manufacturing technologies is to use combined multi-nozzle, three-dimensional printing techniques. So I can imagine what this means. So it means that it's just a 3D printer, basically, and it's got like three nozzles. So three little nozzles where all the cells come out of, and then you print an organ. He's saying that this three nozzle technique is probably the best. It says it automatically assembles personal cells. Personal cells, I believe that's what we're talking about, Bobby, using your own cells, along with other biomaterials to build exclusive organ substitutes for defective or failed human organs. This is the first time that advanced bioartificial organ manufacturing technologies has been reviewed. So this paper is a review. So this person has basically gone through and done his own research and collected everything. Like, what is, sometimes this is useful and this is very good. So he's just, perhaps he hasn't done any research himself, but he's gone back and he's written basically a book report, basically, on what is the current state of this technology. Basically, exactly what Bobby asked for. These technologies hold the promise to greatly improve the quality of health and average lifespan of human beings in the near future. So there you go, Bobby. It looks
Imagine when they lock that in. It's going to be insane.
Yeah. So it looks like, it's coming along. There's three different ways of doing it. One fully automated, semi-automated. There's one, it's like handmade or personalized. But it looks like this author believes, X Wang believes, that the best method would be technology that involves three nozzles, three little hoses, basically shooting out cells.
It's like a 3D printer.
Yeah, 3D biological printer. Very cool.
I have a 3D printed Darth Vader on my desk that holds my pins.
Oh, nice. Did you 3D print it yourself, or was it 3D printed?
I don't know who got it for me.
Oh, nice.
Somebody gave it to me one day. Oh, here's this. I'm like, oh, thanks. He holds my ink pens on my desk. He's doing this. Oh, who's that? Scotty B.
Scotty B says, my last back operation was 16 hours, and I was clinically dead 3 times. 4 doctors worked for 2 and 3 hours, or 4 hours. They would switch. I told them the drill was yellow and ratchet was green. How can that be when you're out? I told him the drill was yellow and ratchet was green.
He was
he was
clinically dead, and he saw this.
He saw. Wow. He's having an out-of-body near-death experience, sounds like.
I reached out to one of Damien's near-death experience people today. I think they're going to come on. I can't think of who that was.
Scotty B continues. The doctor said he had 7 other patients tell the same thing. He did thousands of operations. Oh.
I'm trying to find another doctor. His patients are all freaking dying.
Yeah, right.
You know, the last 7 guys that died on this table said the same shit.
Oh man. And then
what?
Mr. Catfish just says that Alex Jones got sued recently. Yeah, he's in court right now because he made some very unsavory comments about the Sandy Hook massacre.
We don't speak ill of Alex Jones, Mr. Catfish. You've been banned again.
That's why you were precognitively banned. No, we're just
Mr. Catfish is a gay space laser.
Real fast. I'll talk about one of the famous quotes from Alex Jones is that they're turning the frogs gay. They're turning the frogs gay.
Turn the frogs gay, Joe.
What's happening is that there is a chemical. I actually saw a presentation. There's a biologist who's studied this. I think it's a pesticide that ended up in the water, and it just turned all the frogs into females instead of males. So that's what's going on. I mean, he took a weird interpretation of that. But basically, that's what he's referring to.
Hey, I know someone whose dissertation was the effects on the opioid crisis on marine wildlife from people urinating into the sewer stream and it getting them like I don't know if there's that much. That seems like a dilution factor of a lot. Like how many people are peeing out these opioid things to affect the fish? Apparently, it's worth studying. I don't know. I kind of didn't buy it.
Well, there is an opioid crisis. That would indicate there's a lot of people.
Think of the volume of the ocean, and the Horizon oil well that broke off, pumped out 45 billion gallons in the Gulf of Mexico, and that's not even a factor. So I don't know if 7 or 8 million people peeing out opioids is going to be a thing.
That'll have to be an article for another day. That sounds like a good one.
Yeah,
opioids in the ocean.
Maybe I reach out to that person. I think my wife knew him.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah, that's even better. I'd love to be on that episode.
This thing, I'm going to write that down. Fish opioids.
All right, well, Bobby, we got 2 hours. I sure appreciate that, and thank you also. It did. I think it was fun. I think we should do this more often. Like I said, I want to make this a regular segment. Thank you to everybody in the room. Let me see. Mr. Catfish, Scotty B, thank you for being here. Ayawax, thank you for your dope rhymes. Let's see who else was in here. John P. Adventures from Spain, thank you. Welcome to the show from the UK for inspiring this segment and for providing the articles. Keep them coming. And let's see, I don't want to miss anybody. Anybody else who's watching this in the future, thank you for watching. Please subscribe to Bobby's channel. And I'm going to try to make this segment like a more common type of segment.
I'm on Facebook and YouTube, and you can find me on the website the next couple of days.
Awesome.
I was going to change my name to my website, but I didn't have it finished yet.
Do you have any final words, Bobby, before we sign up for tonight? Thank you once again for being here. Yeah, that was a lot of fun, man.
I needed this. This is therapy.
Good. We'll do it again. Maybe I'll do this like a weekly thing, and I'll invite you on. But it's definitely fun to have someone to bounce off of. It's fun. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. Thank you once again, Bobby. And everybody have a good night. And I'll be back I'm going to do a live stream on Thursday of video games. And then Randy from Minnesota with his Bigfoot Adventures has some updates on Friday. Goodbye, everybody. See you later,
Peace. Bobby. Thanks, folks.